Hey guys, Alderton here and welcome to episode 4 of Built. Today we're going to be talking all about the ketogenic diet, and this is going to be the ultimate guide, and I'm going to try my very best to give an unbiased view of the pros and cons of the keto diet. Why? Because I get so many questions about it. There are so many people pro keto, against keto, and I'm just going to give you everything that you need to know to form your own opinion. Let's go. So what exactly is the keto diet? Well, I'm going to actually add to this ketogenic. And what it basically is your body state that it gets into when it is deprived of carbohydrates. And how we get into that is if we feed the body between 20 and 70 grams of carbohydrates a day, it starts to realize, oh my God, I need to find other places to get energy from, because you are not feeding me the nicest macronutrient on the planet, which is carbs. And since they're being deprived, we start looking for other energy sources, of which is going to be fats. So that is it. 10, 12, 15 days, sometimes less. If you deprive your body of carbohydrates, say 20 to 70 grams a day, over that period of time, it will stop relying on carbohydrates as an energy source and start relying on fats. Your liver actually produces these things called ketones, and with fat, that is what it uses as energy. So how does keto work? Well, let's just say, for example, we spent the last 10 to 12 days depriving our body of carbohydrates. Our body will start to produce ketones and it will start to rely on fat as an energy source. And as long as we are eating fats and protein, we will stay in what is called ketosis. And after that period of time, actually when you're in ketosis and you're eating enough calories, it does feel pretty good. You get a little bit of brain fog after a couple of weeks because your body and your brain relies on glycogen and glucose as an energy source. Because it's been restricted of that, as I said, you get that brain fog, you get that lull of energy, but as soon as your body starts to become fat adapted, that energy starts to go up. And that's why so many people talk about the benefits of the ketogenic diet, because they feel pretty good when their body becomes fat adapted. Now, there are pros and cons to that, but that is essentially how the ketogenic diet works. So the question that I get asked a lot is the keto diet better at burning fat? And the answer is yes. Yes! Everyone should be on keto. Everyone should do the keto diet. No. Because think about what I said. Yes. When your body becomes deprived of carbohydrates, your body then relies on fat as an energy source. Yeah? Increased fat oxidation, therefore increased fat burning. However, just because you have increased fat burning as a macronutrient and increased fat oxidation, that doesn't mean that you lose more body fat, because we need to come back to the basic fundamental of fat loss, which is ELTYB. And ELTYB stands for eat less than you burn. Now, the reason keto isn't the all-singing, all-dancing dietary solution is because of this. Because if you are in a calorie surplus and you are not eating carbs, you will still gain weight. And although you have adapted your body to be better at burning fat as a macronutrient, we have to understand this. Carbs and fat. Carbs, we want the body to burn carbs. Carbs, in a calorie perspective, are just 4 calories per gram. Fat, as a macronutrient perspective, is 9 calories per gram. I would much rather my body burn something that is less in calories, because I need less of it in order to burn. Does that make sense? Yes, you increase fat burning, but if all you're relying on to eat is fats and protein, there is a potential of overeating. And if we're overeating, we are not going to eat less than we burn, and we are not going to lose weight. So just because we burn more fat as a macronutrient and our bodies are much better at fat oxidation doesn't mean that we're going to lose more weight. Now, the point in this video is to have an unbiased view of the ketogenic diet. So what I want to start with is the pros of the ketogenic diet. First one, okay, it is very easy to follow. Okay, why is that? Because if we're putting a massive chart about the things you've got to think about in order to create an energy deficit, non-keto. Okay, we need to think of our protein, we need to think of our fat, we need to think of our carbs, etc., etc., etc. Okay, if we're telling someone to go keto, we really just need to tell them one thing. Don't eat carbs. So if we are new to dieting and we don't want to overwhelm someone, we just tell them one thing. Don't eat carbs. Now, they might not even go into ketosis, but what you're enabling someone to do when you tell them not to eat carbs is you're cancelling out a macronutrient, you're getting them to make more conscious eating decisions because they're looking on the backs of packets and wondering whether they can or can't eat it. And routines and rituals get results. If we look at our calories as a pie chart, okay? And by the way, if you do go keto, it's going to be very hard to eat pie. And we break down our macronutrients. Now, what we're looking at is this is fat, this is protein, and these are carbs. And this whole lovely pie chart is calories. And if I'm telling you a simplistic approach, don't eat carbs, what I'm doing with this calorie pie is I'm just getting rid of that. So what I'm actually doing when I say don't eat carbs is creating an energy deficit. You are consuming less calories. And because you're making more conscious eating decisions, the chances are you're probably going to be in a calorie deficit because it's very hard to the bulk of people to eat too much fat and protein. Why? Because high fat, high protein diets tend to be high satiety diets, very satisfying, keep you full. And especially if you keep with this after that period of time and go into ketosis, it becomes a lot easier. Your hunger levels, your energy levels go up, your hunger levels go down, your energy levels go up. However, there are many cons to the diet of which we're going to speak about now. So the cons of the keto diet, we'll try and keep this short, but there's a really important one which we need to address, and that is because there's two types of people in this world. Those that like carbs, and they go down this category, and this category is liars. If you go on a keto diet, that means you can't have carbs. So you're lying. Everyone likes carbs, everyone likes cakes, everyone likes biscuits, everyone likes all those things, which if you did eat on the ketogenic diet, may knock you out of ketosis, causing you to then go for long periods of time without carbohydrates again, diet down, maybe get some brain fog, maybe a lack of energy, just so you can get back into it, which is another problem with the diet. Because anything that takes 10 to 15 days for your body to adapt to do is probably not the most sustainable thing for you. Purely because people really struggle with adhering to a calorie deficit, let alone adapting their body to a completely different energy source. And also, most people aren't really going to measure whether they're in ketosis or not, because they're not going to prick their finger to check their blood or pee on a stick to see if they're producing ketones. One of the things that we need to do with a diet, and this is the most important thing, any diet that we look at, we need to understand these factors. It needs to be enjoyable. Now, the keto diet can be enjoyable because there's lots of good things. At the end of the day, you're eating lots of meats, lots of fats, and they're very easy to cook. I mean, steak, butter, some asparagus, very, very tasty, and it can be enjoyable. But a life without carbs, ladies and gents, is not enjoyable. Next one, sustainable. Now, when we're looking at sustainability, we're looking at our social lives. Now, to have a good social life, it tends to involve alcohol and it tends to involve carbs. So it might have an effect on your social life, which therefore might have an effect on your sustainability. Ask yourself, do you know any of your friends that have been on a keto diet for a year? Probably not, because they probably haven't gone out because they're not allowed to eat carbs. Okay? Maintainable. Something that takes you 10 to 15 days or 8 to 10 days to get into is probably going to struggle being maintainable. Probably because it takes a long period of time to get into it and it's very easy to knock out. Okay, enjoyable, sustainable, maintainable. And the final one is, can see yourself doing it a year from now. Everyone that I hear that says, oh, I did keto, and I got great results. I'm like, okay, but you're not doing it now. No. So you obviously didn't see yourself doing it a year from now. Most of the diets that I see that people stay on have more of a flexible approach, have a good variety of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates, because that is realistic, and you can see yourself doing it a year from now. And I don't see many people come to me and say, I've been on keto for a year, I haven't eaten carbs for a year, and I feel great. Because it just doesn't happen. It might be good for a short-term fat loss solution, but we're not looking at that. We're looking at changing your life. We're looking at getting you to lose weight and keep it off forever. So you need to be having that forever focus in making sure that your nutritional strategy hits all 4 of those things. So the last one we're going to address is the 4 things which you might be looking to focus on when it comes to the keto diet. We're looking at fat loss, we're looking at muscle gain, we're looking at strength gain, and then we're looking at aerobic performance. Because this is essentially the 4 main focuses when we're lifting weights, when we're exercising, when we're improving body composition and performance that we're going to focus on. Now, fat loss, when it comes to keto, as I've already explained, it is no different than any other diet when calories are matched. And I say when calories are matched because calories generally aren't matched, because people just use that analogy that I said, don't eat carbs. When you take out a macronutrient, you create an energy deficit. However, when energy levels are matched and calories are matched, it's no different to anything else. Muscle gain. Once again, the problem that you have with kind of muscle and strength is that carbohydrates fill out your glycogen stores, put water into the muscle, and you look pretty hench because all of your muscles are nice and puffed up with those carbohydrates and that water. If you're not consuming carbohydrates, you're not pulling water into the muscle, you're not pulling glycogen into the muscle, and you're going to end up looking like a 14-year-old boy because you're going to go, oh, what's going on here? Where's all my muscle gone? It's there, but it's not full because you haven't got that water and glycogen. This might actually be a good thing for you ladies out there, because one thing that a lot of people notice when they're on a keto diet is, oh my God, I look so different. It's like, yes, because you haven't got glycogen and water in your body. That's not a good thing. You might look better, and this is what obviously causes people to go, oh my God, I've lost 10 pounds this week. Yeah, you've lost a lot of water and glycogen as well as body fat. I'm rabbit hole downing here, but what I'm on about is muscle gain, strength gain. Okay, these things signify these gains. Okay, when you look like you've got gains, your muscles are full, your water, your glycogen is full, and that doesn't tend to happen visually on a keto diet, especially when these involve consistency. When you look worse doing something, it doesn't really incentivize you to keep it up. Now, aerobic performance. A lot of these, in the long run, might not do you much good. But if you are an athlete, if you are dedicated, then chances are that all of these will work because you're being consistent. And unfortunately, there's not enough studies to show the long-term positive effects of the keto diet. Why is that? Because it is very difficult to have a control study to show that you are in ketosis when doing one of these things. You need a group of very dedicated individuals who are willing to pee on sticks and show you that they're in ketosis all the time. It's very hard to control that many people for a long period of time to look at the long-term benefits of these when it comes to ketosis. Which might be an interesting argument because somebody anecdotally could say, well, that was the best thing for me for fat loss, that was the best thing for me for muscle gain, that was the best thing for me for strength gain, and my aerobic performance certainly come up. And if you are that person, here's one thumb, here's two thumbs. Thumbs up. Because every individual is different. What works for me might not work for you. And if you have been on the keto diet and seen positive results, keep doing it. This is the most important thing when it comes to any nutritional strategy. You'll have people for and against it, but it all depends on the things that you're trying to get out of it. For me, for people who struggle with fat loss, who struggle with sustainability, who struggle to keep weight off, not a good strategy. But if you're a dedicated individual who loves the ketogenic diet and is getting great results, you have my seal of approval.
Well, gents, that is it for episode 4. Hopefully, you are now more informed when it comes to the ketogenic diet, and you can make a better opinion on whether it's the right thing for you. If you like this episode, please share it with others, subscribe, and of course, comment below and let us know what you want to see in the next episodes. But until then, I will see you next week.